In the previous video, we traveled to Fujian province to find out why it was once known as earthly hell and why so many people left their homes in what today seems like paradise. Throughout the day, we visited some of its most wonderful places. But to really understand what happened in this province, it's necessary to go deep and visit its villages. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Our journey begins at one of the most important companies in the entire province and ends in a small village that until a few years ago was completely abandoned. And if I say was, it's because today it's attracting hundreds of young people who are leaving some of the most impressive cities on the planet to live in the countryside. Join us to find out why. Our next stop is the showroom of one of the largest and most famous electric battery companies in the world. And right now you might be wondering, what does a battery factory have to do with the story of Fujian? Well, let me explain it to you. What do companies like Tesla, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Ford, and many other automakers around the world have in common? Well, it turns out that all of them use contemporary Amperex technology covered limited batteries. And the story of its founder is the perfect reflection of the impressive development that this part of China has experienced. The thing is, Zhang was born in a small village in the city of Ningde, which was very poor at that time and whose only hope was education. And that's why, the day Zhang was accepted into Jiaotong University in Shanghai, the whole village celebrated as if it were a national holiday, since for all of them it represented the hope of bringing wealth to their village. And as expected, Zhang worked very hard during his university years, graduating as one of the top students of his class. And after his graduation, he got one of the most coveted jobs in the country at a state-owned company. In China, working for a state-owned company is very important because it reflects stability. And even though you won't become a millionaire, you will have very stable income for the rest of your life and job security, which is something that not many people could have in this country. Now, why did Zhang decide to quit this job that so many people would like to have? Well, let's say he had a promise to his people. He wanted to go further and wanted to contribute to the technological development of this country. And that's why he decided to leave his first job to move to the city of Dongguan, where he took a job at a company called Xingye, which was precisely dedicated to the consumer electronics industry. He spent a few years there until he later decided to quit to create his own company called ATL. It took off quickly because they became battery suppliers for the first iPods, and in China that was a huge deal. It represented not only success, but also reputation and the trust of many other brands that wanted to cooperate with the manufacturer of the batteries for the Apple company. While he was there, he had a lot of success. The company took off like a rocket, but over time the market became saturated. And Zhang, who had an entrepreneurial mindset, found the next big opportunity in car batteries. But starting a business in this industry wasn't easy, since the company he had built from scratch had an important partnership with another Japanese company. This prevented him from receiving government subsidies, since these had to go to national companies. So what he did was resign from his own company and create an entirely new one specifically dedicated to manufacturing electric batteries for automobiles. This is one of the clearest examples of how contemporary Amperex technology Co-Limited is revolutionizing the world of batteries, and what we have here is basically a power bank for cars. But it's a power bank that can drive itself to wherever you are and recharge your batteries in emergency situations. To give you an idea of the size, I'm 6'3" and its dimensions are almost 1.5 times my body, so it can fit just about anywhere. To use it, all you have to do is scan this QR code and then place your order according to your needs. With this machine, you can get a range that goes from 60 kilometers up to 300 kilometers depending on what you need, and the price is quite affordable too. It's incredible because it has sensors everywhere and you can control it automatically from your phone. Or you can also locate your car via satellite and identify it by your car's license plate. And this machine came about as a response to what is now known as electric car driver anxiety, which refers to the fear of not being able to find a charging station, although in reality in China that's no longer such a common problem because there are charging stations everywhere. Even in small towns where you would never imagine they would have something like that. But even so, the Chargo arrived to eliminate all those problems and bring energy to every corner of the planet. A good tour wouldn't be complete without culture, and that's why, among our stops, we included the puppet lion dance, but this one isn't like the lion dance you can see during Chinese New Year. This one is a bit more complex since it requires a series of pulleys to pull the lions so they can dance in sync. This is pretty complex, so instead of explaining, let me show you. Let's head into the theater to find out. The theater is very beautiful. In the middle, it has an image of the show and it looks phenomenal, but I'm impressed that it seems to be in the middle of nowhere. All around there are only mountains and brush, which makes me wonder how many people actually come here. But apparently it's very famous. When you search for Fujian, the lion puppet dance always comes up. And look, apparently it's a 3A attraction out of 5, which they usually have in the country, so it must be pretty good. And these are some of the lions they use in the performances. Supposedly they pull them with pulleys. They must be pretty heavy. I read that the originals were wood, but now they're made from lighter materials. The first thing we're going to do is watch the show, and then we'll have the chance to talk with the actors, and we'll try out the pulley system to see how well it works. It's really great, it's very creative. I wonder who came up with this pulley system, and they're pretty heavy. Look, he's having a lot of trouble controlling it. What is she controlling?
She's controlling the head.
Ah, the head. Is it the lion's head in the middle? Then it's the heaviest.
Yes.
How is it? Is it heavy?
The question is, am I controlling the lion or is the lion controlling me?
Could you briefly explain to us what this is?
Our art dates back more than 1300 years. I started when I was 14 and I've been doing this for 40 years.
How did you get into it?
One day I met a group of artists. I was very curious, so I started pulling the pulleys and they told me I had a lot of talent for this.
Is this something that would happen in your city? When would they do this kind of ceremony?
Every year during the Spring Festival, they were held in the street and lasted about 6 hours.
Do they go on tour with this show?
We have taken our art all the way to Singapore. It was for the Lunar New Year.
Where does this tradition come from? Is it from Fujian province?
The tradition started in Fujian, but it was simpler than it is now. The puppets were smaller and made of wood.
Do you make the puppets?
Yes, we make them ourselves.
And how do you train? Do you go to the gym?
You need to take a basic training course at first, and afterwards, it's very important to strengthen your arms.
Congratulations and thanks for the interview. Now we're going to visit a village that, until just 8 years ago, was practically abandoned. In fact, before 2017, only 100 people lived here, and the population was mostly made up of elderly people and children, because most of the young people moved to the big cities in search of opportunities. And that's because this place was doomed by what many people call the cursed geography of Fujian. As I told you before, this province is between a rock and a hard place. 80% of the territory is mountains and the rest is the ocean. So they ended up trapped in a very difficult place. And that's why many of the people who lived here left for other places, leaving this town desolate and practically on the verge of extinction. But interestingly, there was an artist who randomly came across this town and ended up rescuing it. This happened around 2017. And it was an artist who was having problems in Shanghai where rents are extremely expensive and he was having a hard time making a living. So he decided to go out and look for a place that would inspire him and where his cost of living wouldn't be so high. And that's why he decided to come to Fujian province, but interestingly, he found this place by accident. He was actually looking for another village that's very close to here, but he got off at the wrong stop and ended up discovering Longtang village. When he found it, he decided to walk through its alleys, and when he saw the buildings, the wooden walls, the vibrant colors, and the beautiful surroundings, he fell in love with the place. And he decided to rent a house here for the surprising amount of 200 yuan a month, which is about 600 Mexican pesos or between $20 and $25. With that, he thought he could practically stay here forever. But what he never imagined was what would happen when he started sharing his art with other people through WeChat. And like any proud artist, he started taking photos, uploading them to his social networks. And the next thing he knew, there were a lot of artists interested in coming here. And in just 2 months, he managed to attract 15 people from different parts of China who started renting houses around here to make their own art and live without the financial difficulties of living in big cities. This caught the eye of the government, which started to take an interest in the project that this artist had. And over time, the artist thought it would be a good idea to collaborate with the government. So he proposed that they give subsidies to other artists who were also active on social media so they could attract more and more tourists. So, starting in 2017, a subsidy program was launched with the goal of attracting young artists. To young people who were active on social media and who were willing to do their part to revitalize the area. The only thing they had to do was commit to helping this place grow, but not as owners, rather as partners. So they had to rent a house and help the local people learn how to draw, how to bake bread, how to cook, or anything else they could teach. And because of this, many young people decided to move here and start their own businesses, to have a quieter, more affordable life away from the big luxuries of the city. And what we're going to do today is interview some of them. They say there's a baker here who's really good. They say a guy opened a bar, and there are also local people. So let's see what stories they tell us. Hello, is this a hotel?
That's right.
What a beautiful hotel. Can we come in?
Of course.
It's just that I don't want to bother her. Wow, and these paintings?
My husband painted them.
Wow, very nice. And is this hotel owned by both of you?
Yes, we opened it together.
Are you locals?
Yes, this was the first hotel in the town.
What year did they open it?
In 2017?
So before that, there wasn't any?
None. Most of the young people left around 2016, and about 100 of us stayed.
Before 2017, were there only 100 residents?
That's right. Before this, my husband was a farmer.
Why did he decide to become an artist then?
Well, around 2017, a few years ago, the government launched a program to train us in different trades, and there were many options. And among them, they offered art classes. Once my husband learned how to paint, we opened our little hotel.
So the government helped you?
Exactly.
Does the government also give you funds to remodel, or did you pay for it yourselves?
The government gave us funds and other resources. I did the rest all by myself.
How is it going during the holiday period?
Pretty well.
Oh, really?
All the hotels get full.
So the economy improved a lot.
Yes.
What was this town like 30 years ago?
30 years ago, we were all farmers or ranchers.
And were there roads to get here?
40 years ago, there weren't any. 30 years ago is when they made the dirt roads. They weren't paved.
How long did it take from Fuzhou back then?
1 or 2 days.
Wow, 1 or 2 days? And now?
Nowadays, just 2 hours.
Wow, so from 1 or 2 days it went down to just 2 hours.
Yes, now we have roads and everything.
And are there many outsiders?
A lot. They came to build their hotels.
And don't they affect the opportunities for the locals?
Not much. So far, everything's fine. We're very professional.
Excellent. We won't bother you anymore. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much. Your story is very interesting. She opened the first Airbnb and received strong government support. She told us how the government gave her funds so she could open her hotel, and how the government created a program through which they taught her husband how to paint. He became an artist, and to this day, not only do they have their hotel, but they also make a living by selling the paintings you saw back there. I think this is a house, right? I don't want to go where I shouldn't. Everyone leaves their doors open, so you never really know. In case you were wondering if China is safe, well, you can see that people go around leaving their doors open and everything. This house is very beautiful and it's not as worn out as the others. In fact, I would say it looks pretty new. Yes, the village's rich person lives here. Look at the beautiful fountain.
Do you want it, or should I give it to the dog?
Is it yucca?
No.
Ah, is it bamboo?
Correct.
Is it edible?
Of course, just try it. It's delicious.
But is it eaten raw?
Yes, it's sweet.
Sweet?
Yes.
Well, it says you can eat it. Let's check. Ah, you're right. It's good.
I told you.
Do you grow it yourself?
Yes.
Are you a farmer?
Yes, a farmer.
This is my house.
Wow, it's very beautiful. Is it a hotel too, or do you just live there?
It's a hotel. We locals opened it on our own, but outsiders got help from the government.
So, did you build this house yourself?
Yes, with help. One person can't do it alone.
Of course, it's too much for one person. Did your neighbors help you?
Yes.
Do you help each other?
Correct.
They helped you with your house and you helped them with theirs.
Yes.
He plants bamboo, he plants, harvests, and sells bamboo, and that's what he does for a living, and this is his house. This is what a farmer's house looks like. A farmer here in China, he has a huge house. Interestingly, he built his house with his own hands and with the help of his neighbors too. He told us that here they have a culture of mutual help. Imagine the satisfaction of knowing that with your own hard work you built your home. He also told us that he has 2 daughters and that his daughters went to the city of Fuzhou to work because of the lack of opportunities in this town, but at the same time this town has grown a lot and nowadays the opportunities are much greater. Even so, he remains self-sufficient because he can grow what he eats and buys the rest from his neighbors.
It's crazy how they're building everywhere, and to think that this village used to have only 100 or 200 people, according to what the locals have told us.
Look, they're still renovating. Imagine, 2017, that's 8 years ago when this project started. Hello, is this a hotel?
No.
Is this your house?
Yes.
Well, it's very nice. It's huge.
Old houses are all big.
How many people live here?
Now it's just my husband and me left.
And your children?
They went to big cities to study.
Why did they leave?
In our town, the schools aren't that good. It's better in bigger cities. Here, only the old people are left, like me.
You're not old, you look very young. You seem to have a lot of energy. But what has changed is the town has changed a lot.
Yes, something like that.
I've heard that before 2017 there weren't many people.
Yes, there were about 200 of us. In the past, there used to be 1,000 inhabitants, but many left, so only 200 of us remain. Now, thanks to outsiders, there are about 500 or 600 inhabitants. Also, many locals return from other cities.
And how do you see the situation compared to before?
Much better.
You must be happy.
Yes. Wow, I'm realizing that you're a foreigner.
That's right.
How do you speak Chinese so well?
No, what makes you think that?
You speak it very well.
I'm still learning. It's very difficult. Are those potatoes?
Yes, I grew them myself. They're good. I want you to try them.
Wow, they're big.
These are already cooked.
Here, have one.
Wow, thank you very much.
I planted and harvested them myself today.
Do you plant everything you eat yourselves?
Of course, we plant everything ourselves. Corn, squash, potatoes, cabbage. The only things we buy are meat and fish.
So you don't spend much each month?
Yes, we're savers.
Well, this really is rural China. It's so beautiful. I never would have imagined that we would find such a wonderful village in such a remote place. This is the least revitalized area, so to speak, but that doesn't make it any less impressive. This was the previous state of the buildings. If you notice, it wouldn't even be safe to go in here because it's not renovated. From this state, they had to renovate all the houses we've seen along the way. It's impressive what they've achieved here in just 8 years, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Look, this house is already being used as a duck pen. Nobody lives here anymore. Obviously, it's more like a dump, although it's pretty clean for being rubble. And on the other hand, there are these houses that are still inhabited. Obviously, we can't go in, but it's still very interesting to see that people still live here. And these are people who, maybe because of their age or for other reasons, refuse to leave the town. And today they're benefiting from this renewal that's happening. I'm sure that in about 10 years, this town will be 100% restored and will be full of tourists. And these alleys are very attractive. They have a really beautiful mystique. And I'm sure it's going to be filled with Instagrammers or TikTokers who will come here to make videos. How did they go from an abandoned, empty village to having these kinds of delicacies? Look at this bread, it's bread with chocolate. With the best view in the area, they have all the houses that were previously destroyed, now renovated, very beautiful with a spectacular view. And I'm not talking about Nekufuru, which is already a visual treat in itself. We have these wonderful little breads. I just had one of your breads and it made me so happy. It's been a long time since I had bread this good. Where are you from?
I'm from Jiangsu province.
Jiangsu is very far from here.
About 1,000 kilometers.
What made you decide to come here?
I came here on a trip and I loved it.
How did you find it?
I found it on the internet.
When?
In 2019, I found vlogs about young people who had moved here and started their own businesses, and I loved the lifestyle.
How old are you?
I'm 33 years old.
And were there already more people?
There weren't many tourists yet, but there were already many new residents just like me. At that time, I was working in Hangzhou.
Were you also working in a bakery?
Yes, I've been doing this for more than 10 years.
How did you learn it?
In Hangzhou.
Didn't you go to France or something?
No.
Your bread gave me the feeling of real French bread.
It's just that the bakery where I used to work was French.
And when you came back to Hangzhou, how did you decide to move here?
I felt like it was a comfortable place to live and work. In Hangzhou, I was just living to work.
There was more pressure.
Yes, always busy.
And weren't you afraid to start over here?
Yes, but it was worse to regret not trying.
What's the process of moving here like?
Well, I arrived and looked for a house. And I found a very nice house in a high part of the town.
I've heard that the government provides subsidies, for example, to remodel houses.
That's correct.
What's the process like?
In your application, you state which house you liked, its location, your job plans, and they help renovate it to fit your needs. They help you with the floors, lighting, painting, but you have to buy the furniture yourself.
Was that house originally empty or did people live there before?
It used to be a bar.
And were there more people coming to open businesses that year?
Yes, quite a few. The rent is 10 yuan per square meter.
Regarding the type of bread you make, I imagine the locals aren't very familiar with it. How did they receive your business?
They found it very strange. Many of them think you can't make money with this kind of business. Especially older people think it's strange. It would be hard to explain it to them. Having a stable and well-paid job is the most important thing for them.
How's it going for you with the business in general?
Pretty well. Besides, the rent here is cheap. In a big city, you'd have to make at least $1,400, but here we don't need that much.
What's the minimum you need here to live?
For us, $400 is enough.
Buying bread like yours in the city of Shenzhen costs $4 to $5. Eating out is $40 or $50.
It's just that in a city like that, you wouldn't have time to cook. But here we cook at home, so our expenses are lower.
And the rent? We rent an apartment for $1,000 a month. How much does it cost to rent here?
I rent for 30 years for $44,200.
30 years?
Yes.
This whole place, it's your business and your home.
Yes.
What's the catch? Because it sounds wonderful.
Only young people can apply.
Wow, what a wonderful place. Well, it's definitely an inspiring story and I think it makes a lot of sense. And this baker says that you have to work to live, not live to work. And that in the cities, the pace of life is very fast and there's hardly any time to enjoy nature, to relax, or simply to rest and sit and look at the scenery. And it's true, living in Shenzhen, we've seen how the city grows, skyscrapers go up, and people are always rushing around. Sometimes you forget to enjoy your surroundings and you forget that you only have one life. But nowadays, Chinese youth are starting to realize this. And that's what has led people like Panadero and all the young people who live around here to decide to move to this area. Despite having lower incomes, they want to enjoy nature and create their own community. And to be honest with you, I completely agree with them, and I don't rule out the possibility that Noelia and I might eventually do something similar. In fact, we did it last year when we were living in Yangshuo, where it's not very developed and there aren't any luxury shopping malls. But you can live peacefully because you don't need that much money, just like this young man said. He paid 320,000 yuan for 30 years of rent. We're talking about roughly 1,000 or 1,500 yuan per month, which in a city like Shenzhen would be impossible for such a beautiful place like this. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, young man.
Are you locals?
Yes.
You've always lived here, right?
Yes, this is my home. Where are you from?
I'm a foreigner. From Mexico.
Is it far?
Yes, it's far. You have to make a stopover in Japan and then you travel from Japan to here. Exactly, yes, it's tiring.
Where did you say you're from? What's it called?
It's called Mexico.
Mexico?
Yes, Mexico. They are 100% locals. They've lived here their whole lives, and even though they don't speak Mandarin or don't speak it very well, people understand each other with a smile. And well, I would love to know how much they've seen this town change, but the language barriers are real. What is this, a bar? Yeah, I think so. Wow. Where are you from, brother?
I'm from Chengzhou.
Is it very far from here?
Not that much, just over 300 kilometers.
And why did you move here?
Life is good here.
How did you find out about this place?
Through the internet.
When did you find it?
A few years ago.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
What did your parents think about you moving here when you told them you wanted to move to a small town?
In this town, there's no problem. In my grandparents' town, there are only elderly people.
Apparently, all the young people here want to move to the big cities, but now people from the city want to move here.
Why did you choose this town in particular?
Because of the subsidies and because it's a nice place.
How much do you need at minimum to live here per month?
You don't need much. I spend about $70 a month.
$70 per month?
Yes, that's enough, but more is better.
What's your standard?
Standard, around $300.
This is another young man who moved to this part of China to open his own bar. He sells India Pale Ale beers at city prices. He sells his beers for around 30 yuan, which is the same as what you would pay in a city like Shenzhen, maybe a little less. But he told us that to live here, he only needs between 2,000 and 3,000 yuan, and he could live very well. He also told us that the government is trying to do everything possible to make young people want to move to this part of China. This is the process they know as rural revitalization, and for that they give them subsidies and incentives. For example, in the case of this guy, they helped him build his bar, and he covered the rest with his own money. But it's not as much as if he had to start from scratch. On the other hand, the government is also helping them promote this area, and as part of that, we are here. We were invited, we received an email in which they told us they wanted to give visibility to this part of China because they were trying to bring tourism to create opportunities and jobs for the people, and I thought it was a phenomenal project, so we accepted the offer. And honestly, it has been one of the most beautiful experiences we've had in a wonderful place, and I hope it was the same for you. If you liked it, leave a comment here and give this video a like. It really helps us to keep creating content, and if you want, you can also become a member of the channel by clicking the link I left in the comments. It's a nice way to support the content, and it really helps us a lot. I send you a big hug, and I'll see you in the next video.